to ClubhouseNews.com. You're tuned into Clubhouse News Weekend for the week ending Saturday, January 25th. I'm Gabriella.
And I'm Jesse. This winter has been extreme one, weather-wise. And just when you thought the freezing cold and record snow was over, it's back. Call it Polar Vortex Part 2, sort of. A fresh wave of Arctic winds are causing chilly temperatures from the East Coast to the Midwest, with freezing cold temperatures and lots of snow. In places like Wisconsin, New York, and Chicago, it's so cold in some of these places, like 50 below zero near the Canadian border, that even a snowman would need a coat.
Cold.
The governors of Delaware, New Jersey, and New York have declared states of emergency as the extreme cold and snow have caused all kinds of problems. 1,500 flights were canceled and thousands delayed, and getting around is, well, a chilling experience.
Ow. I'm so cold that I'm shivering.
And while that area of the country freezes, the West Coast is experiencing record high temperatures, with Los Angeles in the 80s. And while that may sound like a good thing, it's actually very bad, as California is experiencing its worst drought or lack of rainfall in years. Instead of fresh rain bringing water to thirsty plants, grass, trees, and crops, the hot air is drying them all up. And when you combine dry vegetation with hot air and wind, you make it real easy for brush fires to start. Just ask any California firefighter. There's been around 150 fires so far this year, 6 times more than the usual 25. And while California desperately needs water, the extreme weather is causing extreme waves, up to 50 feet tall in Hawaii. And while these waves, which they're calling the swell of the decade, look amazing and seem like some super surfer could ride them, don't even think about it. These waves are extremely dangerous and life-threatening.
From extreme storms, drought, and waves, we go to a storm of controversy that is blasting the U.S. spy organization called the National Security Agency, or NSA. We previously reported that the ex-NSA employee Edward Snowden stole millions of top-secret NSA documents and fled the country before revealing that the U.S. government monitors the phone calls and emails of both American and international citizens. Even the friendly foreign leaders were surprised to find they were being spied on. And President Obama was forced to call for changing how the NSA spies.
I am therefore ordering a transition that will end the Section 215 bulk metadata program as it currently exists, and establish a mechanism that preserves the capabilities we need without the government holding this bulk metadata.
Well, this past Thursday, Edward Snowden, hiding out in Russia, held an online chat on the website freesnowden.is. Taking questions on Twitter, he said he never stole any passwords and didn't trick any coworkers to get the secret documents. He also thinks he did the right thing by exposing what the U.S. government was doing, even though the way he did it was clearly illegal. See, Snowden committed something called espionage, which involves illegally obtaining secret information on your government's activities. Do 2 wrongs make a right? Only time will tell.
And with all the NSA troubles and other problems here in the USA, President Obama could probably use some extra blessings. Well, guess what? He's meeting with none other than Pope Francis himself. The meeting, their first, will take place on March 27th at the Vatican, home of the Catholic Church, which is located just outside Rome, Italy. President Obama is expected to discuss the issues of poverty and inequality with Pope Francis, who is leader of the world's 1.2 billion Catholics. Hey, I wonder if President Obama will bid on one of the Pope's Harleys he's auctioning off for charity. That would be cool.
Now, from His Holiness the Pope to some people who are, well, anything but holy. Way back in 1978, several mobsters robbed a $5 million in cash and $1 million in jewels from the cargo of a Lufthansa flight at New York's JFK airport. The heist, $20 million in today's money, was the basis for the famous gangster film Goodfellas.
And these are the guys that Jimmy put together for what turned out to be the biggest heist in American history.
And it remained unsolved. Until this week, when after 35 years, the FBI finally caught up to the bad guys responsible for the legendary robbery, arresting real-life gangster Vincent Asaro, now 78 years old. So, bad guys, beware. Crime does not pay, and sooner or later, Even 35 years later, you're gonna get caught, even if you're an old grandpa in a retirement home.
Well, good job, Dad. Look at you now. Don't you lecture me!
You do the crime, you gotta do the time.
There must be some mistake. I'm Kermit the Frog.
Hi, I'm Joey with this week's Science and Tech News. Well, I'm sure Europe's space probe Rosetta is safe from any robbers, especially now that it's awake after sleeping for more than 2.5 years. Hello! The comet-chasing spacecraft, whose mission is hunting down comets, is awake from its deep space sleep and back on the job. Its target, Comet 67P, goes around Earth every 6.5 years and travels at a speed of nearly 25,000 miles per hour. And to catch the super-fast space rock, Rosetta, which was launched in 2004, needed to get up to speed. First, the spacecraft orbited around Earth to gain momentum. Then it spun around both Mars and Earth in order to slingshot. Rosetta reached the crucial speed in June 2011 after passing Earth for a third time. Then it took a deep space sleep to conserve power before flying 497 million miles into deep space. Now awake and back on the job, Rosetta will spend a few months observing the comet before launching a smaller probe to land on the rock this August. The goal? To find clues about the birth of the universe, of course. From the silence of space to the sounds of an echo, the world's longest Trevor Cox, a professor of sound from the University of Salford, shot a pistol inside of an old abandoned bunker in Scotland, setting a world record for the longest echo ever. Although it echoed for 112 whole seconds, nearly 2 minutes, only 75 of the seconds actually counted.
I'm an idiot.
Boeing, a creator of planes, rockets, and satellites, is researching how to power planes with Earth-friendly, green diesel fuel, which are a combination of recycled animal fat, corn oil, and cooking oil. And guess what? They release only half the carbon pollution that fossil fuels do, which could help cut pollution a lot since 20 billion gallons of jet fuel are consumed each year. And by blending these oils and fats, they are already used in biofuels for vehicles like trucks. Boeing hopes to fly wide blue skies and leave them looking, well, blue. Maybe China should take some notes from Boeing, because its skies are some of the most smog-filled in the world. In fact, in some major Chinese cities, it's gotten so polluted they even have to stage fake sunsets on big screen TVs. According to reports from the US Embassy, the levels of PM 2.5, particles small enough to penetrate the lungs, got as high as 671 in the Chinese capital of Beijing. Just to give you an idea of how bad that is, the World Health Organization considers amounts higher than 25 to be extremely dangerous. Why all the pollution in China? Lots and lots and lots of coal-burning factories with little or no restrictions on how much they can pollute. It's extremely unhealthy, burning people's eyes, getting into their lungs, and making them sick, and shortening their lives. The Chinese government can see the problem, even if their people can barely see the sun. The government is planning to restrict the pollution over the next 7 to 10 years. And believe it or not, China's pollution is even hitting the west coast of the US. Researchers used data from 2006 to see how different air pollutants were carried by strong winds from China to the US. The toxic materials included sulfur dioxide and black carbon, which are both a product of fossil fuels. According to the results, China is responsible for about 12 to 24% of the air pollution in the USA. Sadly, Americans may be just as responsible for the Chinese pollution. Why? Well, when you buy a product manufactured in China like an iPhone or sneakers, their factories keep on making them and churning out more of the nasty chemicals. So next time you're going to buy something, find out where it was made before you buy it.
Hi, I'm Devin with this week's health and nutrition news. Sunlight can calm your body. It's true. A new study found that the right amount of solar rays may help lower blood pressure. Researchers from the United Kingdom exposed a group of volunteers to a dose of ultraviolet A radiation, which is equivalent to 30 minutes of sun. According to the results, the participants' blood vessels dilated, meaning they became larger and allowed blood to flow more easily. Bottom line, a healthy dose of sunshine lowers blood pressure, and that's a good thing. But remember, always use sunscreen and don't sunbathe. That's bad for your skin, can lead to skin cancer, and can make you age a lot faster than normal. But if basking in the sun doesn't make you feel relaxed,
The sunlight!
you just might be suffering from serious school stress.
Do not even try to call me for the next 2 weeks. I will be incommunicado.
Fortunately, there's some basic things you can do to stay focused and balanced. First, don't rush in the morning, since the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. Instead of starting the day frenzied, try waking up a little earlier and allow plenty of time to do what you need to do, like eating a healthy breakfast before getting to school. Second, get enough sleep, 8.5 to 9.5 hours every night. Lack of sleep only increases your irritability and decreases the amount of stress you can handle, so make sure you're getting enough sleep. And finally, if school stress is really getting you down, talk to your parents or a counselor. This is especially true if there's an obnoxious bully who makes school much harder than it needs to be.
What is your problem?
Even if you stay stress-free and rested, it's easy to get nervous when someone coughs.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
Or sneezes all over you at school.
Hey, Troy sneezes like a girl.
I mean, who wants to get sick, am I right?
I can't come to work today. I think I got strep throat.
That's why from a young age we're taught to cover our mouths while sneezing. But is this simple technique actually effective? According to experts, sort of. You see, covering our faces before a whooping cough or a bellowing sneeze does seem to stop the majority of germs, but there's still a chance one tiny particle will slip past our protective grasp. What's even worse is that the molecule that does escape is capable of hovering in the air for hours. The best way to prevent spreading germs is just to wash your hands as thoroughly as possible. Well, washing your hands won't prevent bad health if you're guzzling soda. According to an article from the Consumer Reports, some popular sodas contain dangerously high amounts of cancer-causing food coloring chemicals. The chemical in question is often listed on consumer products as caramel coloring. According to the state of California, this molecule may cause cancer, so manufacturers are limited to exposing consumers to no more than 29 micrograms per day on average. Any product that contains more than this must carry a warning label.
Mom, no! Goodness! Excuse me.
Hi, I'm Nicholas with this week's Sports Report. After the Seahawks knocked out the 49ers and the Broncos beat the Patriots during the playoffs, football fans wanting to watch Denver and Seattle duke it out at Super Bowl 48 got their wish. But who can afford the tickets? While prices jumped around all week, the cheapest tickets were being sold for roughly $2,000, and the priciest ran for about $12,000. Ouch! The MetLife Stadium, home of the New York Giants, which is actually in New Jersey and has 83,000 seats, will definitely be bringing in the big bucks. For those lucky enough to make it to the Super Bowl, I hope they bundle up because it's going to be one frosty game. Sleet, snow, and polar temperatures might strike on February 2nd. This could have more of an impact on Denver's offense than on Seattle's because Peyton, with his 55 touchdowns in the regular season, they've relied a lot on throwing the ball. Seattle, on the other hand, either way, it definitely looks like an epic matchup between an unstoppable force and an immovable object in the midst of a fearsome blizzard. With the Olympics only 2 weeks away in Sochi, Russia, Team USA got their first glimpse of their official opening ceremony parade uniforms designed by fashion designer Ralph Lauren, well known for his polo clothing line. The uniform is made up of a turtleneck sweater, black leather boots, a patchwork cardigan with a mix of patriotic references. The best thing about it, it is 100% made in America. As excited as these athletes might be about donning their red, white, and blue uniforms, Team USA is being urged not to wear their team gear outside of game venues due to terrorist threats. The Russian government is taking these threats very seriously and have security measures in place to protect everyone. So good luck, Team USA. Make us proud. Clubhouse News will be keeping you updated on all the exciting highlights that happened at the 2014 Winter Olympics.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabriella, back with this week's entertainment news. Every year there are filmmakers who are striving to be the best at what they do. What better place to showcase your masterpiece than the largest independent film festival in the U.S.? That's right, the Sundance Film Festival is held every year between January 16th and the 26th in Utah. Filmmakers gather from around the world to compete for awards in categories like Best Dramatic Movie and Best Documentary Movie. Now, how cool is this? The best short film wins a $10,000 prize. Whoa, that's a lot of money. Now, if only I had a film to submit. This is not your average award competition, though. Take away the glitz and the glamour and unveil the real deal. Inspiring movies like Combat, a documentary of Haitian community in poverty coming together to create a small garden to help feed families in their time of need. Another film, The Master Chef, is a story about an Indian boy who shines the shoes of a TV chef every single day and dreams of becoming a chef himself. I love inspiring movies, and they always make me appreciate the little things in life.
Victor Sempra!
Holy Hogwarts! The Universal Orlando theme parks are getting a new addition. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley. Fans of the 7 books and 8 films will remember Diagon Alley as the home of the Leaky Cauldron and Gringotts Bank, which will live in the Universal Park recreation. Let the magic begin!
This is American Idol.
Are people finally tired of reality TV or just over American Idol?
That's the word on the street?
Word on the street.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
American Idol has paved the way for many new artists to showcase their talent, and with 13 seasons under its belt, you would think people are still interested, right? Well, it looks like there may not be that many people watching. When the show premiered, its ratings were down 23% from last year. American Idol has tried switching up the judges to create a friendlier atmosphere, but it doesn't seem to be working. Hopefully, American Idol can rekindle the wow factor that we once loved. I guess we'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Some people will probably quite like that, the minority. The majority, probably like me, thought it was verging on excruciating.
Kelly Clarkson, who has been called the original American Idol, has announced that she will be having a baby girl.
It's a girl.
You might remember her from season 1. She was a star right from the start, and America supported her all the way to the top. Since her debut in 2002, she has won over 27 awards, including 12 Billboard Music Awards. Phew, Kelly's definitely been working hard, and now she has the total package, something I like to refer to as the American dream. Congrats, Kelly, on your new bundle of joy. Just in case you haven't heard, Justin Bieber has been on a bit of a roller coaster and ride lately. And believe me, it's not going up. It seems to only be going down, and fast. Being famous can be a lot of pressure, and sometimes success can go straight to your head and make you forget who you really are. Justin is a prime example of this. He was arrested in Miami, Florida recently. He was charged with driving under the influence, driving with an expired license, and resisting arrest. Bieber, who later admitted he was driving under the influence, was released from jail that same day after paying a bail of $2,500. Bieb, I hope you come to your senses before your fans do. No one's above the law. Show your fans you are not just another celebrity gone crazy.
Justin, how old are you?
I think I'm 40. Maybe I'm 5. I don't know. My brain is broken.
Stop what you're doing and get a little nutty. Go see The Nut Job and let your inner squirrel be free. The Nut Job is turning people nutty everywhere. Before I hit the movie spoiler alert button, Just take into account that this movie knocked Disney's Frozen out of its #1 spot. The Nutjob is a computer-animated tale about a mischievous squirrel and his rat friend Buddy, who plan a nut store heist. If you're in the mood to laugh, look no further. Go check out The Nutjob today. Or tomorrow. You get the point. Whenever you go, just go.
You can actually pull this off.
Ah!
Look what I found. This is great.
Let's go. Hey, Shirley.
Hi, animal lovers. I'm Chloe with this week's Animal News. Do you ever look at a dog and think, wow, that kind of reminds me of a wolf? I know I've made that connection at least once or twice in my life. Research from UCLA's Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology has shown that dogs and wolves did actually have a common ancestor, but are not as closely related as we once thought. This large wolf-like animal lived only about 9,000 to 34,000 years ago. Based on DNA evidence, researchers believed it once lived in Europe. Isn't it amazing what a little research can do? Although we still don't know how the wolf dog ancestor became extinct, this gives us a little more insight on how dogs have developed over the years. It's amazing what a little sniffing around can do.
Charmed, I'm sure.
For most of the country, the temperatures have been below freezing, and I'm sure they can't wait to thaw out. Well, if we're lucky, spring might be just around the corner. Puxatawny Phil to the rescue.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
Welcome Groundhog Day. Each year, there's a traditional festival on February 2nd. The people of Puxatawny, Pennsylvania gather in their Sunday best to observe the awakening of Phil. He crawls out of his hole after a long winter sleep to look for a shadow. If he doesn't see it, then spring will come early. If it is sunny and he sees his shadow, the groundhog retreats back into its burrow and winter weather will continue for 6 more weeks. I know this sounds a little far-fetched, but it's really true. Puxatawny Phil has been making his predictions since 1886.
Ladies and gentlemen, Punxsutawney Phil!
Extreme weather across the country. The Midwest and the East Coast are just about as windy as it gets, while the West Coast experiences record highs and Hawaii is experiencing the swell of the decade with 50-foot high waves.
On March 27th, President Obama is going to the Vatican to have his first meeting with Pope Francis. They will be discussing the issues of poverty and inequality.
Mobsters who robbed $6 million in cash and jewels from a flight at the New York's JFK airport finally captured by the FBI after 35 years. It may take a while, but the FBI always gets their man.
There must be some mistake. I'm Kermit the Frog.
Remember to stay tuned in to what's happening by going to our website at www.clubhousenews.com.
You'll find in-depth stories, videos, and much more. So until next week,
stay on top of the world with clubhousenews.com.